In the children's hearing, one of the main parts of the hearing is giving the child an opportunity to give their views. So in the children's hearing, the child is invited to come along, and they actually have an obligation to attend, and that is when they will be able to give their views to the panel when they're making a decision in terms of what measures to put in place to support the child.
If they were sort of older, maybe over 14 or something like that, and
Yep.
there was a discussion about which parent to live with,
Yeah.
with the child, would they get a strong say, or would it be like if they say preferred their mum to live with, or maybe even someone else, like their grandparents or auntie or something
So,
like that, would their opinion sort of...
Take into consideration their age.
Yeah.
So if you've got a 6-year-old saying, I want to live with dad,
Yeah.
they're 6, they might not have very good understanding of what's going on with
Yeah.
dad. Whereas a 15-year-old, they might have much better understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Not always though, they might still not really grasp the risks with dad, if there are risks. But yeah, you take that into consideration when taking their view.
Remember that central to the Convention on the Rights of the Child and the Children of Scotland Act, one of the central tenets is that the child's opinions have to be taken into account. So definitely.
I was curious because it was all the talk about what adults and all that. I was like,
no, that's a good question. Shall we move on?
Very good question. So I'm trying to figure out where we got to, but there is when the police or the social work think that a legal order might be necessary, they have a legal duty to refer it to us. So that's why they're our main referrers. And once we receive the referral, we then, the reporters, have to decide whether there's a ground of referral. So that's whether the child has committed an offence. There's actually 17 grounds of referral, and I won't go through them all because there's a lot. But it's, child has committed offence, the child's behaviour is putting themselves at risk or other people at risk. The child's not attending school, I think I've given that one. There's been domestic abuse. But our most common one is lack of parental care. So that is the biggest ground. I think that's just 5,643 children were referred. I think that's from the year 2016 to 17.
Is that just for lack of parental care?
Just for lack of parental
Wow.
care. Exposed to domestic abuse, that's our second most common referral, and that was 2,697.
Sorry,
a
are
year.
these numbers just referring to the borders?
No, that's Scotland.
Because it sounds
Yeah, that was
like
that was very high.
worried there.
No, that's for all of
Yeah.
Scotland.
For Scotland.
And that's year 2016 to 2017. And our most frequent referrals to police, I think, is that.
I've got it.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
So the role of reporters, this is what I would be doing, my day-to-day job. We receive the referrals, mostly from police and social work. We conduct the investigation. So what I would normally do, once I receive information that there's concern about a child, I'd usually get in contact with social work first and ask them to prepare a report for me. They would then come back preparing quite a lengthy report, advising what they're doing with the family, if they're doing anything, what supports they've put in place, and what recommendation they have, what do they think about whether or not we need a legal order. I also might ask for a report from school, that can normally be really helpful. I might ask for a report from the health visitor or the school nurse, something like that. So I carry out my investigations, and I also need to decide whether there's any need for the compulsory supervision order. So is it a need for the legal order? And again, that's kind of, if things are working on a voluntary basis, if the family are agreeing to things, I probably don't need a legal order. If the family are not willing to engage with social work, if they're not opening the door to social work, that's when we think that we need to get a legal order so that we can make sure that this child is safe and being cared for. So when we're making our decision, things that we need to consider is the extent of the concern. So how much concern is there about the child's welfare? The nature of the incident, if there is one incident, sometimes it's not, sometimes there's just many things going on for a period of time, but it might be that there's been one particular incident, the child might have disclosed being hit or something like that. The level of cooperation by the family and the child, and what effect previous involvement with social work has had. So if social work has been involved for a long time, but the family are making no improvements, we probably have more need for a compulsory supervision order. Because they're not, even though they might be engaging, they're not addressing the concerns that have been identified.
And does that always fall back onto the parents and stuff, or are you able to investigate to see if the social worker is still doing all the trouble?
Yes. So, sometimes with discussions with social work, we might say, well, we might discuss what different supports can be put in place, and we might discuss other things that they should try before we move on to a legal order. Yeah. Okay. So this is everything that when we receive the referrals, this is what I was talking about, taking a holistic approach. So even if the referral is because there's been a young boy who has been charged with theft, and that's what the referral is, we would still look at everything to do with this. So we look at his development, how he's getting on at school, how his health is, how his relationships are, how his behaviour is. We look at his parenting. Does he have a good relationship with his parenting? Are they able to put in good boundaries? Does he have a stable home environment? Is his basic care needs being met? And then we would also look at family and environmental factors. So is it, what's his housing situation like? What's his parents' situation like? Are they employed? Have they got a good income? Or have they got financial difficulties? So we're looking at quite a lot of factors to determine
See if
whether or not.
like I've got a regular right, but she's never been in trouble with social work, and you got a referral for the police because she's been stealing.
Yeah.
Would I then know that you would investigate all this?
Yeah, so as soon as I receive a referral, I write out to the family and say, I've received a referral. I've been told that your little girl has committed this offence, and I'm investigating it, and I'll let you know the outcome of my investigation. So the family are fully informed all the way. Yeah.
So if there was no other factors, like sort of people on the past family and good income, part-time, met all the, everything on the report, and it just happened to be like the falling of that curve or something, and that was the only thing we had, it would just be like a full shot.
That was the only thing, and it was quite a minor offence, and you probably wouldn't be going to children's hearing, and you'd maybe ask social work to maybe have a word with the family and say, have you put any consequences in place, have you addressed the issue? And normally with a small offence, like if it is a small minor offence, then there'll be other ways of dealing with the matter rather than coming to children's hearing. Okay.
So back to what age? Is it up to 16?
You can be referred to the reporter up to 16, but you can stay on a legal order, a compulsory supervision order, until you're 18. And also, if you have committed an offence, say you're 17 years old and you've committed an offence, that would go to the court. But if you're found guilty of that offence, the judge might say, let's see if the children's hearing system can deal with it. So we might get a 17-year-old in that case. But the legal order will always expire at the age of 18 years old. Okay.
So back to Kane's question about if parents were informed. If they were informed but they didn't have a good response to it, such as I'm looking at response, would you sort of take that as a sort of not a thing against them, but kind of like a bad response would be sort of a bad sign kind of thing? Would you
Not
think
really.
that, or
Not really. I think wouldn't. People react in different ways, and it is quite it might be quite a difficult letter to receive that you're being investigated. You might not expect it. I mean, usually the families do expect it because social worker are already involved and they've already informed them. So we don't get that situation too often. But I don't think that would affect my decision making. Okay, we'll just move on to. So I've got the referral. I've looked at all those things about the child. The social worker's provided me with a report. I've got a report from school, and I've got a report from health. And then I have to make a decision. What am I going to do? So, as I said, we have to prove one of those grounds at court. So I said there's 17 grounds, the most common one being lack of parental care. I have to assess the evidence. Am I able to go to court? Can I prove this? Is the judge going to believe me? If I don't have enough evidence, I don't take it any further. And I have to say to social work, unfortunately, we don't have enough evidence at this time to prove this case at court. So keep working, put them on a voluntary basis as much as you can. If there's more new information, you can re-refer. But I don't have enough evidence at this point. Or I think I do have enough evidence, and I think there does need to be a compulsory supervision order. Then I arrange a children's hearing. Or I think, okay, there's definitely concerns about this child. They definitely need some support and guidance. But it looks like they're willing to engage with social work on a voluntary basis. I don't actually think we need a legal order because they're letting the social worker into the home. They said they're willing to engage with a parenting assessment or take under counselling, or the child is willing to engage with offence-focused work. I don't think we need a legal order, so I'll speak to social work and say, I think you should still work with them, but I don't think we need the children's hearing, so we don't need a legal order. So those are basically the three decisions that I can take. Okay? So, if I've decided to refer the child to a children's hearing, I set that up. At a children's hearing, we have the three panel members. Remember I talked about them being the volunteers from the community. They're the decision makers. So they're the ones that sit in the panel. They'll listen to all the information and they decide what measures that are needed to put in place to support the child. So that's not me, that's the panel members that make that decision.
Like a jury in court.
Kind of. Much less formal.
Yeah.
And like I said, the difference, I suppose, is the jury are trying to determine a fact. So they're trying to determine whether something is true or not true.
Yeah.
The panel members are trying to say, what can we do to help this child? They're not.
Most of the panel members can we're talking about it. You can just get someone.
It's up to debate, maybe. But they can come from any kind of background. Any person can apply to be a panel member, but they must have some training. So they do have a training, but they're not, they don't necessarily, not social workers, they're not legally trained necessarily. They might be. But
How do they can try to refer them?
well, they do have training, and social workers will attend the children's hearing, and a lot of it depends on the social worker explaining to them what is in the best interest of the child. Now, the social worker will always have a recommendation. So
That's mental just falls back in 3 rounds of vote.
well, some people might say it's not, agree with the way that system works, but that is the system that they have. And the social workers do play a huge role in presenting a report, so they will give their report to the panel members. It will be quite a hefty report, they're normally like 30 pages long or something like that. Panel members will read it, and the social worker will say, I'm recommending, as an example, that the child be placed in foster care because we have huge concerns about the child in the home with parents. And panel members will, ask a few questions. But if the social worker's got a good case, then they should be able to present that to the panel members, and the panel members would hopefully take on that recommendation.
Do you sit in on children's panel?
I do, yeah.
So can you, if you think the panel members have arrived at, they've agreed with the recommendation of social workers, but you think, do you know what, just not sure about that, can you kind of intervene and say, can we just think twice about this?
No.
Okay.
No. sometimes
I
I'd
like
like
the answer's
to.
going to be yes.
No. So my job, when I take a record of what's going on in the proceedings, I'm not allowed to influence panel members in any way. because I have already formed a view in my mind, because I made the decision to arrange the hearing. So I'm not allowed to influence the panel members. However, what I do in hearings is keep them right on the law. So if I think they're making a procedural mistake, for example, they haven't spoken to the child, that would be a massive procedural mistake. They haven't taken the views of the child into consideration.
Within reason, obviously. Within like 3 years, so
Oh yeah, within reason, of course, yes. But I would then say to the panel, look, this child is 12, they have a view, you need to consider their view. So legal things I can address them on, but actually in terms of what they decide, I have very limited
Do you
involvement
think
in that.
that's why there's like, not justice, but like stuff like ABP and that, so much stuff is mixed because it's no left to...
No, because actually what you find with those cases that have been investigated since they've never got this
We've
far.
never got that far.
They've never got to the hearing system. And that's...
Do you remember I showed you, sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Do you remember I showed you in the whiteboard a few weeks ago, the Victoria Columbia case? And I showed you that map of everybody that was involved in that child, and we were all staggered at the number of professionals that were involved. And yet still she was a victim of and she'd never gotten to this point. Well, that was in England, so they don't have this system. But you've got a similar system or a equivalent
yeah, it's
system.
different, but yeah, kind of.
But she'd never got to that point. And I think that was put down to, and a lot of these things are, and if I speak out of turn here, just jump in. I think a lot of these things, where it was horribly wrong, it's put into lack of communication between the agencies.
And actually, the hearing system is a good way of ensuring communication, because what we do is invite everybody, not everybody, but we invite social worker, we perhaps invite health, we invite a school, we invite family, and we invite
Is these
child.
like the MAC meetings, like at
They're similar,
meetings?
yeah, but they're slightly more formal than MAC meetings.